Town, what it do? My name is Nick Stevenson.
And I'm Scara.
Welcome to Texans Bloodline, episode 5. It's a Victory Monday, and we're loving it. Scara Kay, you now have become a part of your first win streak. How does it feel?
That was an exciting game. That was really fun.
Yeah, that's the type of game that'll start to make you fall in love with the team.
Right? Like holy offense, Batman.
Yeah, for sure. And I think about just the short journey that we've had so far. Already started off with a little bit of controversy with an 0-3 start. And now you've got to witness a little bit of resilience, some camaraderie. Like the team has done a good job of sticking together despite all the noise outside. And I think those are the kind of things that kind of make you start to like the team, and then they become more endearing to you. So
and a little bit of history this week, right? With the first win ever
absolutely
at this place.
Yeah, Baltimore has owned the Houston Texans, and it's the reason I said, on some of my other shows, I was talking about the fact that both of these teams came into this game at 1-3. Only 7% of teams that go 1-4 end up making the playoffs. So this was a really important game early in the season. And a lot of to-do was made, and rightfully so, about all of the injuries that they have. Lamar Jackson was the MVP last year. Obviously, he wasn't there. They're missing like 6 other Pro Bowlers on defense. And I said in all of my shows, honestly, I don't care. Like, it happens.
Good for them.
Good
for us.
And at the end of the day, if they win because Lamar Jackson wasn't there, oh well, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to start talking about the draft before Halloween because our season is over, especially starting this brand new bloodline. So a very huge, about as big as a win can be in the first month of the season, for sure. But I just enjoyed every aspect of this team, and I know that you're going to have, because you've observed a lot of things that went wrong while they were losing. So just from the aesthetically pleasing part of the game, like, what did you like about what you saw on Sunday?
Well, I really liked that Stroud let go of the ball like all the time,
Mhm.
except for the one time that he really made the choice not to, and did he run. But and like just offense seemed to have it together. Like they knew where the ball was going, where to be. He knew
Mhm.
where to throw it. They knew where to catch it.
Yeah.
It
It
seemed
looked
coherent. And I know you've talked about that before.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked competent, like they
They brought their
prepared.
they brought their varsity team this week.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not gonna mince words. The last 2 games they've played the 2 worst defenses in the NFL. Okay. However, when you're not a good team and you're playing a bad team like that, not good teams will usually either end up in a struggle or maybe even lose that game. If you're a good team, you're supposed to do what the Texans did to the Ravens. You're supposed to beat them and beat them badly. I believe the youngsters call it belt to ass. It's what happened. Yes, is
Yep.
what happened on Sunday. And as a Houston Texans fan who's been through all of it just starts to make you a little bit delusional. Like, are they back? Is there a chance that they're back? And here's the thing. I think that cautiously optimistic is probably the right way to be. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. We're going to live and die with every week. If they're going to take the next week off for their bye
Right.
week, and if every game they win, we're going to be like, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. And every time they lose, fire everybody, right? It's just the emotional ups and downs of an NFL season. I'm glad you mentioned CJ Stroud. You probably noticed not only did he play better, let's talk about his body language and just his demeanor, his facial expression on the field. What did you notice different?
He was chill
Yeah.
and determined. Like, remember I told you, was it maybe even the first game? I
Mhm.
could see the moment that the change happened and he just lost it and it was done
Mhm.
for him for that game. And it happened the second game too. And this time he was there.
Yeah. I feel like he's one of those people who wears his emotion on his sleeve.
Mm.
And there's some people who view that as a negative thing. If you're a leader of a team, you're supposed to stay even keeled. And I've never seen him like blow up on the sideline or anything, but his facial expression, his body language, like you can tell when he's not confident.
Yeah.
And confidence is the biggest thing that I saw from him. And he had the best game of the. I mean, he threw for 244 yards. That's his best output so far. 4 touchdowns. Um, he ran for 30 yards. That one long run that
That
was
was a
almost
long
a touchdown.
run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he looked like the CJ Stroud of his rookie season,
Okay.
and I hope that that is what we are going to continue to see going forward. Um, we've talked a lot about the offensive line, you and I told you that I thought that was going to be a subject throughout the season. The offensive line's actually been pretty good. CJ Stroud is not getting pressured nearly as much as he was early in the season, the first couple of games,
Right.
and last season. And I think, me and my buddy Ruben, we do another Texans show together, we were talking about this. I think he's just got in his head that his offensive line is bad the last few games and not realizing like, oh, they're actually not that bad. And he gave them credit yesterday in his press conference. Ariante Ursary, the rookie, who's replacing a 10-time Pro Bowler when they let Laramie Tunsil go, he's doing a really good job as a rookie. Jake Andrews, all of these guys who, let's keep it real, we were giving them a
Well, they
lot of
weren't doing a good job of keeping Stroud protected, right? And
right,
it seems like
100%.
there was like some sort of come to Jesus meeting must have happened in this last week,
Yeah,
and
and I
they
also
started working together.
for sure, and I think somebody also, because you've been trying to hold CJ Stroud accountable, like you got to
Yes.
throw the ball faster. Stop
Mhm.
holding on to it, because these are big, strong men coming at you. And yes, you have guys blocking, but they can't hold those blocks forever. Like you have to figure out
Right.
where the ball is going and get it there. And so I think it's been a good combination of both. I think CJ's realized, hey, I have a little more time than I thought because he just felt sped up. That was one of the reasons he was missing a lot of throws, is because he felt like,
Yeah, I could
oh
see
man, I'm
that.
gonna get hit. And the last couple of games, once again, it's against bad competition, and I get it, but they did what they're supposed to do. So I'm really excited about that. Who were some other players that stood out to you in this game? Because there was a lot.
Hutchinson, I was
Yes.
proud of this man. I think he's my
That's
new
your
favorite.
underdog guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, he
That's
was
your
was
underdog.
wasn't he my underdog from the beginning?
Yeah,
And he
for
got
sure.
his first 2 touchdowns. Um,
Yeah.
and then I did write my player of the week, did end up being Petrie for that last, like, pretty awesome
Oh, yeah,
play
yeah,
where
yeah. Yeah.
he intercepted, right? That's what it's called? Is
Yes.
that what he did?
He got
And then
he
he,
got
like,
2 interceptions.
ran,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then and then he got a touchdown, right? So, like, yeah, it was
Petrie did not score on
oh.
his, but he got
Oh, he got
2,
really close.
yeah, yeah, he got close. He got 2 interceptions, and he returned one, I think I have it here. He returned it for a few yards. He didn't score, but
Okay.
it would have been cool if he did.
He had a
That is,
really cool
man.
play, and I'm like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was pretty
absolutely. The
like,
defense
the
was really
yeah.
good. There's one play, busted coverage where Derek Stingley Jr. slips, and Zay Flowers is a very fast human being. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not gonna listen. Derek Stingley is one of the best, but everybody gets beat every now and again. He slips. It was a really good play. Shout out to Kalen Bullock for hustling on that play though, because that could have been a touchdown. And
I
he
was
hustled.
expecting it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool play by Flowers. I was like, "Wow." It's okay to throw them a bone every once in a while, especially when we're winning, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna tell you, the first offensive drive by the Ravens kind of scared me a little bit because they were moving the ball.
I don't
Uh,
remember it.
DeAndre Hopkins got a really big catch on a third down situation. They were moving the ball and they end up having to settle for a field goal because the defense stepped up. But it made me nervous. I was like, is this how this game is going to go? Is it going to be a back and forth, high scoring game? But after that drive, I mean, the Ravens offensively really did nothing. The Texans did a great job stopping the run. When you stop the run, that forces the other team to throw. If they're not completing passes, then they're having to turn the ball over to you. And once again, time of possession, the Texans dominated it. And
Oh
that's
my gosh, that was crazy. I was like,
yeah.
I don't think they got any turns.
Yeah, I think they ran only like 25. How many plays did they run?
It
Let me
it
find
was not
it
much.
was not a lot for sure. Let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah, while you're
Okay,
looking, I feel like every
they
time
ended
that
up
they
running
got the ball, we did something cool and got it back.
Yeah, they ran 40 plays. The Texans ran 66. So,
Oh, it's
um,
more even than it felt.
yeah, no, early on, well, I think a lot of that had to do with the end of the game when they took CJ Stroud out, put in Mills. They were able to move the ball a little bit, but um, so we
Hey,
finally
oh,
got to see a
let's
backup
talk
quarterback.
about that though. I was gonna say, yeah, let's talk about that, right? Because you said that if we're pulling in the second and third string quarterbacks, then we're in trouble, or we're
Yeah,
doing so well that we can give our main man a little break.
yeah, for sure. You don't want CJ Stroud getting hurt in a 44-10 blowout, so it makes sense to let Mills come in, and that benefits Mills because he gets some reps. Because you never
Mhm.
know. I mean, you're one injury away from, hey, you're the starter now, so it gives him a chance to get out there. And I thought he looked good. He completed some passes. I'm really confident with him as a backup quarterback. I don't know enough about Graham Mertz because I've never seen him play in a regular season game. He looked really good in the preseason. So, uh, I think CJ though. I hope this game propels him to be the more confident version of himself. And it in hindsight, it kind of seems silly that we were saying, hey, maybe he shouldn't be playing, just because of his resume and what he's done. And yeah, he had a few bad games, but
Well, if
he
he was
also
gonna
just turned
continue
24.
being in his head and not, like you said, not,
For
or
sure.
succumbing to that pressure, then
Yeah.
then he wasn't the best, right?
No,
And
no, I
you
agree
talk
with you.
yeah, and you talked about when while we're on this subject, this was something really that kinda clicked, and I wonder what your take is. Um, Preseason is all the way up to, like, the week or 2 maybe before the first game of the
Mhm.
actual season, right? And that's when
Yeah.
they decide what the lineup is?
Right.
Okay. So it feels like it took 3 full games for our offense to say or to, like, really, I guess, get a feel for each other. And if
Sure.
we're spending so much time in preseason, and I'm guessing this is all the teams, not just Texans, right? If they're spending
Mhm.
so much time giving all the players time to work or whatever to play and show what they can do, then you're not working just with the crew that's gonna be on the field until that
100%.
first game, and it
100%.
just seems like a loss of, I feel like that's where all of these issues were, is they weren't working together yet, and then they finally got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think Scara knows ball. You hit the nail on the head, and I think it's something that we didn't talk about enough. You got a brand new offensive coordinator, practically a brand new offensive line, a new offensive line coach, a new play caller. And in the preseason, you're absolutely right. The preseason's actually changed. The preseason used to be back in the day like 6 games, way too long. They
Yeah.
narrowed it down to 4, and then now it's only 3, and eventually it's only going to be 2. And so coaches are really using the preseason not to get their main team ready. They're trying to figure out, let's fill out this roster. So they're mostly playing guys. You notice in the preseason, none of the starters really played. They're all playing the fringe guys to see, okay, who's going to make the
Mm.
team. And so, with all that in mind, yeah, you come in, you have a brand new play caller, never done it before. Everything about the offense is completely different than it was the year before. Yeah, and I expected the defense to be ahead of the offense and the defense to have to carry the offense. I didn't expect the offense to be as bad as it was, though, to be honest with you. But in hindsight, like I said, what you're saying is spot on. There's a reason it's taken them a while to get into a rhythm. The only question is it going to be too late? Um, there's two
Yeah.
and three. Right now, the Colts are leading the division 4-1, and I told you I didn't think anybody from this division was gonna be a wild card team. I think the Texans will have to win the division to be in the playoffs. That's still on the table, but I will say this, I don't know if you looked around at some of the rest of the league, but, um, surprisingly, the AFC South, um, has some of the top team right now, the Colts are the number 1 in the AFC, they're 4-1. The Jags play tonight. Hopefully they lose. We'll be rooting against them tonight.
Okay.
Even though I hate rooting for the Chiefs. I hate rooting for the Chiefs, but I need when you're
Why?
playing somebody in
Just
my
because
division,
why? Why?
I can't stand the Chiefs. I'm so sick of the Chiefs.
Before
I've never liked.
like, Taylor Swift okay. The whole Taylor
No,
Swift
no, no. It has
hype.
nothing to do with Taylor Swift. No, I just don't like the Chiefs, and I haven't. And I'm a very I'm a homer. Like I'm a ride or die for my hometown team. It's very rare for me to even watch other teams. I kind of have to because of obviously what my hobby is. But I just if you're not Houston, I don't like you. But I'm gonna root for the Chiefs tonight because I need them to beat Jacksonville. It'll feel gross, but I'll still do it. Um, but AFC South might be better than we thought. Um, so
So is the reason you're rooting for the Chiefs because you want Jacksonville to have a lower win
yes, right now
ratio?
Jacksonville's 3-1 and the Texans
Okay,
are 2-3. So we got to catch Jacksonville and we got to catch
got it.
Indianapolis if we want to um, win the division. And this brings up this reminds me of something that I wanted to talk about. Um, because I don't think you and I ever discussed this, how they make the schedules for each team. So the Texans having won the division 2 years in a row, after you win your division, the next season, I'm sorry. The next season you are given what's called a first place schedule. So the Texans are actually playing a harder schedule than the rest of their
Mm,
division. And that kind of plays into what's happening. So when you have a first place schedule, what that means is so you're going to play every team in your division twice. So
okay.
there's 3 other teams in our division. That's 6 of the games. Then you're going to play one AFC, a different AFC division, and then an NFC division. So that's 8 more games. So how that works is this year, I think we're playing the NFC South and we're playing the AFC North. And that rotates every year. That's why there's some teams you don't play every team every year. So right now the Texans have to play the top teams from each of those other divisions. Where as far as the rest of the teams, for instance, the Titans, who've been the worst in this division, they get to play all the worst teams in the other
Okay.
division. So I feel like one of the reasons I'm saying all this to say the Colts are ahead, they're 4-1 right now, but they've been playing all the crappy teams, and the Texans have played some really
Ah.
good teams. Now the Texans have played 2 bad teams in a row, which I'm
Well, but
glad.
you were worried about both of them, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Especially this last one.
Yeah, 100%. I was worried about the Titans because it just felt like the Texans were primed to let us down.
Hmm,
After the first 3 games, like, I was concerned, and honestly, that game didn't get good till the 4th quarter. It was not good for most of that game, and so when they came out and they scored a touchdown immediately, I'm like, "Okay, I
hey.
like this." Yeah, I like this, and like I said, that first drive from the Ravens scared me a little bit, but after that, I mean, it was like, this is fun. I wish I would have done a watch party. I had to work, so I was laying in bed watching, but I was like,
This would have been a
man,
more fun than the other games.
absolutely, absolutely. So, were you checking out the booties this week?
I
Tell me it's a
was.
Texan. Tell me it's a Texan.
Well, I think I'm gonna surprise you with my tushy of the week.
Okay, what you
Okay.
got?
It's for the ref.
The ref.
Ref
Which one?
number 47. He I don't
I gotta look up who was the crew. It's
he
not
was
the guy
built
who
like a
was.
god.
It was not the guy who was doing the talking, right?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay,
He
I gotta
came
look
up
up who the crew was.
Yeah, he came up and was talking to the main guy for a
Yeah,
little
he's probably
while,
like a
and
line judge or something.
yeah,
Alright, I gotta
ooh,
look up who the crew this is a first. I've never heard anybody, um well, there was so Ed Hockley, he's retired now, but he was like a super jacked up ref, and then his son is actually a ref now, and they're both known for, like, being super jacked up, so I wonder if it was his son.
I have no
Was he
didn't look
muscular or
he was muscular. Oh, yes, he was muscular.
okay, I wonder if it was
I
Hockley.
I
Now I
don't
gotta
know that
look
he
up
looked
who it
that
was.
young, I don't know, I mean, his son could be older too, but
Yeah, well, Ed Hockley was really old, so
okay.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
so maybe.
I'm gonna look up who the crew was now. Now I'm curious. That's the first. I didn't know a ref was gonna get it. That's cool. And so your player of the game was Jalen Petrie,
Yes. Yeah,
and
and,
man,
so, okay, I know, um, I think I'm pretty positive it was a Ravens player. He did a, um, oh my gosh, what's it called? Tackle?
yeah,
Um, sorry, and afterwards, he put his hands on his helmet, right? And
mhm,
he was taken out of the game to get checked out, and he was like I could tell he was frustrated about it,
Mhm.
Because they're like, "Yeah, if you put your hands like this, then we're gonna check you out." They were talking about it, and I was
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
like, I get it. I'm pretty positive it was a frustrated, like, "Yeah," like, I do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but, I'm kind of impressed that the NFL is taking the safety and of these players so so much more seriously,
Yeah.
and the people that are okay, this is what I have to say to those people that are upset about this or upset about the change in rules that have to do with safety.
Mhm.
If you own, of course, we don't own the players, right? If you own a $2 million asset, do you not
Mhm.
want it to like stay good?
Yeah.
and and I guess I feel like moving in this direction with the safety of the players, longevity wise, is going to be better for everybody.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I think what you're gonna find is you're spot on, but I think what you're gonna find is what most people don't like is the hypocrisy of the NFL because for so long, and even now, like the NFL will promote the game with these huge hits, jarring hits, guys
Mm,
getting their helmets knocked off, but then claim they care about safety. And if I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you, they didn't really start caring about that until they got sued by the players union. And the
mm,
reason they got sued is because it was discovered. If you ever see the movie Concussion with Will Smith, if you
I
haven't
haven't.
seen it, I recommend checking it out. It's a true story about the doctor who discovered what CTE is, and I can't remember the acronym what CTE means, but it's basically a brain condition that taking several hits to the head
Yeah.
eventually causes like trauma to your
I
brain.
have looked
And
into CTE and I've done quite a bit of research on it
okay,
and all the things that have happened or players have done
yeah,
that's related to CTE.
right. And so once they had to start paying out money in these lawsuits, that's when they really got serious about player safety. So it might be a little bit of people just not liking the hypocrisy. Trust me, there are some who are like, "Oh, well, why don't you just put them in bubble paper or let's just start playing flag football." And, most of those are old heads and I get it, but like you don't like the way it was going, somebody was going to die on the field.
Yeah.
Like it was just getting bad because
Well,
these
someone murdered somebody else off the field because of it. So
right, right. But what I'm saying is like 100%. And there's a player who committed suicide just a couple of weeks
mm,
ago. And they believe it was because of the effects of CTE. So, but my point is I think most people who see the hypocrisy of the NFL, that's probably their main problem with it. And then for me, I'm with you 100% though. I like the fact that there's a rule if your helmet comes off in a game, you have to take the next play off. They'll take you in the blue tent. They'll do concussion protocol, whatever that is. But those lawsuits came because the NFL knew about
mhm.
CTE. They knew about
Yeah.
all of this stuff, and they weren't telling the players anything about it.
Oh
And
gosh.
so players were going into it blind and not really understanding the full effect that taking these type of hits were having on them. Not to mention, players would tell their coaches, "Coach, I definitely have a concussion," and they're like, get back out
And
there."
then they play them. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and, like, I can understand that point of view, but
yeah,
now that they are taking it seriously,
for sure.
hopefully the culture around it will also be changed. So while right now it's catalyst may have been the lawsuits,
Yeah,
but maybe the culture will change around safety in
that's what
sports.
you hope. That's what you hope, and I think they have to set the example because my son played football when he was in elementary school and in junior high, and none of that is really regulated.
Mhm.
So I used to watch very closely to how my son was coached, how he was taught to tackle properly, not lean in with his head. He played offensive line, so he was pretty much in a car crash every play. He was smacking into somebody. And I had real concerns about it myself. But here's the difference. Like I said, the reason those lawsuits happen is because the information was there, but it wasn't being shared. So
Yeah.
now that we know,
Mhm.
I will say this: the players who are playing, they understand the risk now, and so, but no, they 100% should be looking out for the best interests of these players as far as safety goes. It does make the game a little hard on the defensive end because you feel like those are the guys who are making the hits, right? So it's a little bit slanted to where these rules are affecting more their ability to play their game than the offensive players. But like you said, for the sake of safety, I think the trade-off, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Football's never going to be, it's a violent sport.
Yeah. It's
It's
never
never
gonna be
not gonna be,
injury free.
yeah, it's never gonna be not dangerous. And even if you don't hit someone in the head, I mean, you're a teacher, you know this. The brain is very fluid inside of your
Mhm.
skull. Like, even if you just come to a quick stop, you don't even have to be hit. It's gonna
Mhm.
move around in there. So, but I agree with you 100%. If be safe, or better safe than sorry. And
Yeah.
so,
And there's
um,
balance now. I guess that's I think where we're leading with this, right? Now that we know
yeah,
better, we're gonna do better. It's still
for sure.
going to be a violent sport, but the players know what they're getting themselves into. They know the risks, but they also know that at the end of the day, the system is going to try to keep them safe,
Yeah. At the
you
end of the
know.
day, the game is growing. They're trying to make this game an international game. They're playing games in London.
Oh, interesting.
They're looking to play games in Japan soon. Um, I think they want to get a Canadian team in the league. So they really, because football is not popular outside of
Oh, I know, 'cause
American
I
football
say
is not popular
football.
outside of the United States.
I don't know if you know if we've talked about this. I have a foreign exchange daughter,
Oh,
and
okay.
she's from Spain, and so I say, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go watch the football game," and she's like, "Which one?" And I'm like, "American
FC
football game."
Barcelona? Chelsea? No. Manchester U? No. It's yeah. So
Right.
they're trying to. They want. It's one of the reasons Bad Bunny is playing at the Super Bowl halftime show. That's been a very
Oh,
large
interesting. Okay.
topic of controversy for some reason. I don't know why. Like the dude is one of the best-selling artists in the world right now, so the Super Bowl is a
The
pretty big
irony
platform.
this is okay, I think this is funny because in my experience, do I have much? No, but in my experience, like, gung ho football loving, um, fans, they're not paying attention during halftime that much.
Don't watch
So,
halftime anyway.
let
Yeah,
the rest of the world that wants to pay their money into this,
yeah,
watch the ad, all the things, be
yes.
part of that large audience, just let them have it.
There are some people who will be watching Super Bowl halftime strictly to see Bad Bunny, and
Uh-huh.
the NFL is gonna get paid, and they don't care. Like that's the thing, man. Like it's business, and it makes sense to me. Like I said, this is one of the highest selling artists in the world, and he's Puerto Rican, and he sells to Americans. And listen, we're from Texas, man. We had Selena. Like we understand. Like there can
We
be
should be, yeah.
Spanish speaking phenomenons that cross over into American culture, and it is he's Puerto Rican. It is American culture. So
Mm,
but
good
yeah,
point.
that's I say all that to say that the 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 NFL would like to be a global sport, and I think safety is part of that lexicon. You want to not turn people off to a game. Like I said, the way it was going, somebody was going to die on the field. Like people were
Mhm.
getting hit in the head and thrown back out there with multiple concussions. And so I think the whole game is trying to be more, what's the word? Commercial, maybe. And that kind of sounds bad,
I
but
mean,
you want to be able to sell it to, hey, parents, your kids can play this game.
oh,
Because
well,
if your kids
that's where
stop
it was
playing,
going.
yeah,
Yeah, that's where it was going is the general public was starting to learn about the concussions and the
yep,
CTE, and it
yep,
was going to die out.
yeah. If you don't have kids playing, eventually
Mhm,
there's no NFL. So
exactly.
no, that
Yeah.
100%. So those are all wonderful observations. I'm so pumped for this season now. Let me ask you this: do you want to do a show during the bye week and kind of just assess everything we've seen so far, or we can take the bye with the Texans? It is 100% up to you. I'm going to be
Let me
doing
think on that.
content. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing content elsewhere. So if you want to take the bye with the Texans, spend a weekend not having to stare at the TV. Fans get to do that too. Me, I'm not gonna watch any other football games. So, but
I mean,
I'll leave that 100% up to you. But I'm just so glad that man, like when you made the connection between the preseason and the slow start in the off season, it's like watching a flower bloom before my eyes, Sarah. All right. On the level scale, 1 to 10, how big of a Texans fan are you now?
I'm gonna go with, like, a solid 7.
7. That's
Yeah,
a big jump.
I
That's a big
know, and
jump.
I pretty I'm I'm gonna take the next week or 2, I think I'm gonna get myself a shirt.
Oh, now we're talking. Hey, I
Now we're
got some.
talking money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got some Amazon affiliate links. I'll send you some suggestions, and then
Okay, okay.
we'll get a little bit of change from that. A little bit of that money back. Um, so you were the last time I asked you, I think you were 3, and that was 2 weeks ago. You went
Yeah,
from
it
3
was
to
pretty
7. See, winning cures everything. We'll see. And so I was looking at the schedule, and like I said, they're playing a first place schedule, and I was really optimistic about the. I was optimistic about the prospects of them having some relatively beatable opponents. Well, after the bye week, they play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, which is always tough. You're going to learn that some of these fan bases come with a reputation.
Mm,
There's Raiders fans, crazy, like lunatics.
yes. I
And
lived
then
in San
you've got,
Francisco area, I
okay,
remember.
of course. So 100%. Um, so the Seattle Seahawks, they're just known for having like the loudest stadium in the NFL. So even
Oh,
when they're not that good, it's just a hard place to play. And they're 3-2. I think they lost yesterday. So that's still they have a better record than the Texans right now. Then you go to San Francisco to play the 49ers, who that's going to be DeMeco Ryans used to be the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. That's really where he got his coaching start. And so it's going to be kind of the Padawan returning to his Jedi master in that game. So there's so many storylines, but they're good too. And then you got the Broncos, who just beat the defending champions yesterday. And then you've
ooh.
got the Jaguars, who are the second best team in the division right now.
So
So
you're saying we're not in the clear?
yeah, it's going to be an exciting time to watch football because all of these games suddenly are really important early on. And sometimes you just don't get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, the Texans they've won their first 8 games in a row. And then at that point, you're just like, okay, we're going to the playoffs. So the rest of this is kind of a formality. But there's some really important games early on. And I'm glad they're getting the bye week early. I think they're going to get to go back and look at what they did good, what they were able to fix, and then hopefully even fix more. And but that's
If
tough.
I were the teams playing them, I would be strategizing. That word
Strategizing.
did not come out the way I intended. Uh,
Well, good. We won't show any of
um,
your students.
yeah, and because that right end zone, that's where they got every single touchdown. That right little corner.
Yeah, for sure. Like you're absolutely right. And last week too. Well, Woody Mark was on the right side and then the
Mhm.
left side.
Yeah,
But Aiden Higgins was on the
all
right side
four.
too. Man, they are finding to me, just find the holes in the defense. It's kind of cliche. One of the things that all these teams say is just take what the defense gives you. And sometimes that's just the right thing to do. But the defense gave them a lot in this game against the Ravens. I just noticed they're going to be at home for San Francisco,
Okay.
Denver, and Jacksonville. So after they're on the road for the Seahawks, they'll be home for 3 straight weeks.
Cool.
So hopefully our Houston Texans, that bloodline will show up. And
I mean, if anyone
give
wants
this guy
to
some juice.
sponsor us watching it live
Hook it
at
up.
the stadium.
Hook it up. We will make it happen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Texans Bloodline. Scara, it's been so refreshing to watch you go from being a baby bull to now maybe we'll call you an
Toddler.
adolescent Toro. I don't know.
Toddler.
But man, so much fun to do this show after a win. I'd say we enjoy it. Like I said, if you want to take the week off and revel in the fact that you got your first win streak, that's awesome. I want to remind you guys to follow us on social media. You can find me at Houston Sports State of the Union Podcast. I will leave a link tree in the description, or you can just type Houston Sports State of the Union Podcast on X, on IG, on YouTube. I am pod host Nick on TikTok, and we're trying to grow the channel. So please subscribe to Houston Sports State of the Union Podcast. Hit all the likes, hit all the notification bells. Then you can find Scara Kay at Scara Kay on Facebook and at Bad Teacher Tales on Instagram. Tell everybody what Bad Teacher Tales is, and let me know how soon we can get this thing back going.
I know. I feel like every week I'm like, I'm gonna get it this week, and then it doesn't happen. But Bad Teacher
Okay. Well, I
Tales.
keep asking you about it, so you'll feel motivated.
Bad Teacher Tales is a podcast soon to be on YouTube where teachers write in the stories, and not just teachers, educators write in their stories. I tell them, read them so that they can be shared anonymously because they're juicy. And
They're
teachers
good.
often, yes, and teachers often feel like we can't share things publicly. So, with our name attached. So I share those stories, we comment on them. We try to put comedy in where we can, especially with some of the deeper, more difficult subjects. And it's a lot of fun. You get some insight into the classroom and education that you don't get otherwise.
The great thing about that is you can go back and listen to the old episodes. So
Mhm.
it's not really an episodic thing. So even if,
Correct.
the new one hasn't come out yet, and I know you have some in the chamber ready to unleash on the
I have
world, but yeah,
3
go back
ready.
and
I just gotta get, my life together.
yeah, for sure. But go check out Bad Teacher Tales. You can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all the places. And that'll help you get to know Scara Kay a little bit more. But man, I'm telling you, you're killing it on this show. I'm really enjoying doing this. And it's just
Thank
the
you.
beginning. Thank you for tuning in to Texans Bloodline. I'm Nick Stevenson.
I'm Scara Kay, and see you next week or in 2 weeks. Baby
2
bulls.
weeks.